free samples, free product, numerous ways to get paid, 14 actually incentive trips, car incentives. We could go on and on. It really is, you can participate two ways, become a customer or become a business partner. And in today's society, it just makes sense to jump aboard, get the biggest discount you can on the product, and start making money with us. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to go to Mr. John Downey here in 1 second. There we go. Mr. John Downey, go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Tim. You know, when I was first introduced to Neora, it was about 8 years ago, and I saw it as just a strict business opportunity that it was. And it just made so much sense for me and my family, because I thought if we get another stream of income for our household, you know, 500 to 1,000, maybe 2,000 makes a world of a difference to us. And so I didn't hesitate, got started right away. And I'll tell you, in just a short time, it turned out to be a much more significant income than what I thought it was going to be. So much so that I was able to retire from my job. It was about 9 years earlier than planned. That was a little over a year ago. And it just gave me that option. And if I didn't have Neora in my life, I wouldn't have that option. I'd still be going to work every day. So now I can stay home with my family. And it's not that I didn't like what I did. I was a policeman for the city of Los Angeles. Loved the job, loved my family more. So I get to run my little gig, my little side gig from home every day and not have to go to work. So I love Neora.
Thanks so much, John. Don Wilkinson. Mr. Don Wilkinson. He might be having some technical issues. I'll go to.
Okay, I'm
there.
Here.
There he is. Donnie.
Yes, sorry,
Go ahead.
Sorry about that. My name is Don Wilkinson. My background was publishing residential real estate magazines. Many people have heard of the Homes of Land Network, and I own 8 different franchises in Southern California. And that was a great business for 25 years. It did very well with it. It was just an awesome experience until it wasn't. And that was in 2008 and 9. It was a face plant. The financial world collapsed, and ground zero was here in Southern California. And so for a couple of years, I was working for the company I used to own. Then what ended up happening a couple of years into it is somebody called me like they did with Tim and offered to bring me some face cream. And I said, why? I wasn't interested, but she did. It was a family member. And she also was smart enough to share a video with me that was actually Jeff Olson. And what Jeff Olson did in that video that he talked about was some business principles that just made sense to me. He talked about the product and the science and the barrier of entry, the first to market, all of those things made total sense to me. Also, he talked about the management team. I mean, legendary in the industry and just amazing, amazing people. And he went on to talk also about the systems that were put in place, and coming from a franchise background, totally understood that. We had a franchise without the brick and mortar, and it just, you know, systems are everything. And the commissions, of course, and that was important. And ultimately, what he said, which really got my attention at that point, was he talked about that we were going to build a culture of making people better and making a difference in people's lives. And that just, I bought in. I was like, I like this guy and I like where he's going. And all the things Tim talked about as well, that were, you know, as far as background he had and everything. So what I'll say is I've been doing this now for 8 years. I've had an amazing run with this and done nothing else. And the future's never looked brighter. So it's an awesome experience, and hope you join us.
Thanks so much, Don. Mr. Mike Whitney.
Hey, Tim, thanks for having me. It's Mike Whitney. I'm originally from Kansas City, small town, Excelsior Springs. My background is corporate sales. Basically, I was stuck and frustrated. I was loyal to a fault. I had 25 years with the same company. Years. I worked for a boss hole was the worst thing. And how I was introduced was my wife actually introduced me, and I had zero interest in network marketing and zero interest in skincare. And again, like the other guys before me, I was introduced to the night cream, and I just didn't see how I fit in. But there were a couple things that happened to me. One, I had great results with the product. So now I have belief in the product. And two, I saw my wife having success. And it wasn't so much that she was having success, it was how she was having success. She was simply taking my before and after, showing it to people, and getting great results with people wanting to either use the product, try the product with the 30-day money-back guarantee, or get started in the business. So I watched her for a little bit. I got started. We originally got in the business to try to get our kid through college without, incurring a bunch of debt. And we just followed a simple system of people that were in front of us that were having tons of success. So we, originally got started to get our kid through college. Fast forward 7 years, our son gets his master's at the end of May this year, and zero debt. I was able to fire a boss hole, and we've been on, 8 all expense paid 5-star trips. We've earned a Lexus car bonus, just a number of things that Neora has brought us. But I guess the main thing is the unlimited earning potential that I never had with that 25-year career. And we're on fire, and we're so excited for the future and what Neora has in store for us. So that's it, Tim. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Mike. Sil Gasparo.
Hey, Tim, Sil Gasparo here from Montreal, Canada. Welcome. Interesting. You got a Canadian on this. This is an international business. My background is actually, I grew up in my uncle's music store, ended up franchising one of them, sold it. My wife, we actually franchised 5 fast food franchises. And somebody one day said, imagine a business with no inventory, no employees, no rent, no government paperwork. And imagine the business of wrapping your arms around the global marketplace that said, show me. So that was my first introduction to direct sales, which you're looking at here tonight. And it's changed our lives. And again, we're living in Montreal, Canada. We're fostering to adopt our 12-year-old son right now. And we're able to work this business around his schedule. And we're working it on our terms with what's going on today. A lot of people have had to make some drastic changes in their life, but we've just fit this into our schedule. You heard Tim and many people talk about systems, and I heard a great acronym when we had our franchise. This systems to me stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. And that's what Neora has created, a system that can allow anybody to participate from wherever you're at on a part-time basis. And I believe that's we might be planting seeds tonight that might be fermenting in a week, a month, a year, you never know. But this is an absolute amazing opportunity. Back to you, Tim.
Thanks so much, Sil. Patrick Murphy.
Thank you very much, Tim. 6 years ago, my wife became a customer of Neora. And at that time, there was only one product. After she used it for a week, I personally could tell a difference, which was a pretty big deal, being that she got 8 inches cut off her hair one day, and I didn't notice from just being a guy. So the fact that I actually noticed something about her skin was kind of a little bit of an aha moment for her and I. And she decided to become a brand partner. And I was cautiously optimistic, but just a little skeptical of the business model. And what I did is I poured into research in the company. And what I found was that the company did $100 million in their first full calendar year. And I still thought, wow, well, maybe it's just a fluke. And in the second year, they did 200 million. And then the third year, they did 400 million and expanded into another country. And I really looked at my wife and I said, it's not a fluke that a company does $700 million in its first 36 months. And that's really what landed us on the Inc. 500 #1 consumer products with a 3,600% growth in those 36 months. So that was really an aha moment for me. I come from a sales background. I came from the home improvement industry, which would probably be the polar opposite of the beauty industry. I went from just a very alpha male industry, and to walk into something like this with a product that works. And over the last 6 years, I've been able to walk away from my corporate job 5 years ago. So I got a chance to work from home for the last 5 years. I have 3 kids now under the age of 11. So it's been a busy time, but as a father, I never would have had this time because I was leaving my house at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I wasn't getting home until 10 o'clock at night, typically 6 days a week. And as the money that I was earning allowed my wife to stay home. Little did I know that from her phone, she'd be able to build a business that could retire me from my corporate position and be able to bring me home. Now, with the health and wellness, the probiotics, the sleep chews, the youth factor, and the hair care, in the beginning, I was probably a little bit less comfortable talking about skincare. And with health, wellness, and supplements, I think it's really attracted a lot of men to be able to look at these products, use these products, and give their own testimonial. So as far as timing, there's never been a better time to be a part of what we're doing here. So thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Patrick. Ron Forrester. Probably got to unmute himself.
Yep, you got to be better than technology.
That's all right.
I'm John Forrester. I am a doctor of pharmacology by education, and I was introduced to Neora by Jeff Olson, the CEO and co-founder. Jeff and I have known each other 25 years, and whenever he brought me to Dallas, asked me to come to Dallas, I looked at it. He knew to show me the scientific research because of my background. So I looked at the scientific papers, and I told him, I said, okay, I understand everything is said here. I don't ever need to look at these things again. I'm completely satisfied with the science behind it. But Jeff, I've never sold skincare. I don't know what to do. Then he brought me out the first pictures the company had, and that were the clinical trial pictures. So he used third party on me, the system that everybody's mentioned tonight. And as a result of that, I was so impressed by the science and the clinical trials that I committed to him right then. Now, I was retired from everything. I'd been retired for 6 or 7 years at that time. So I came back in and helped launch Neora, and from very beginning. And in my lifetime, I've been 38 years full time in this marketing model now. 8 of it, of course, with Neora, 8+. And in my time, I've seen thousands of companies. And during that time, I learned that there's 5 factors that make it possible for a company to be a legacy company. And Neora has those 5 factors better than any company I've ever seen. And I think that's been proven over the last 8 years, particularly mentioned the numbers that Patrick mentioned. And because that simple system and the fact that we did have products that worked, my wife and I were able to establish the top income earner position in 15 months. And that was amazing to me. And it's all because of the fact that we have the simple systems. Neora has the 5 factors in it better than any company I've ever seen. And, you know, what happens is we make people better. And I've got something to say about what Patrick said. The best is yet to come.
That's right. Thanks so much, Ron. Always good to hear from you. And Paul Wyatt.
Hey, Tim, I'll go ahead and go. I think Paul had to jump off.
Oh, fantastic. Damon Rourke.
Thank you, Tim, for putting all this on. My background is medical sales. I was an athlete in college, kind of just fell into medical sales or sales because I graduated around 07, where they were not hiring anybody but salespeople, especially people with no experience. And when I first saw this, I got introduced to the actual product. It caught my attention with the money, the compensation plan, because I was coming from sales. But I tried the product. I saw the product work. I was in my 20s. I realized that I was going to use the product, and if I didn't realize I got no problem selling skincare or lipstick or anything else to provide a great life for my family. But I didn't even realize this was an industry. And for me not to realize it was an industry and I was going to be a customer, I'm not even the key demographic. That's why I really got started and really ran with it with the expectation of working 5 hours a week for a goal of $500 a month within 2 years. Within 4 months, I was making more per hour of what I was putting into Neora than I was in medical sales. And within the first year, I came over, went full time, and within a year, I replaced everything I was making in medical sales. And just to be able to do that and to have the freedom of time now, we live in a dream house. I drive the most amazing Ford Raptor you could ever imagine. It was my dream car. But I think most importantly, now that I'm married and have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, I have that freedom of time to be there with my kids where I wouldn't be there normally, right? I would have been out to work and home from work and home late before they were after they went to bed. So I just think that's why I think this is the most amazing opportunity because of the products, because of the compensation plan, but also with the people and the system that you're getting. I didn't get this in corporate America. I don't know where else you get something like this for people that are cheering you on, people that have experience. When 75% of small businesses are going out of business, that number would be a lot different if you had somebody who had a system and then coached you along the way. And so that's why I think I really do think this is the best opportunity. in the entire world. And I don't use hyperbole often, but I really do think this is the best opportunity in the entire world because of those factors. But Tim, thank you so much for having me on, man.
Well, I appreciate you, Damon, and I appreciate all the men that shared their testimonial today. And I want to thank you guys, the guests, for coming on here. Get back with the person that invited you on this presentation tonight to get all your questions answered, and we'll see you as you start your Neora journey. Have a great night.